Greetings, fellow adventurers, and welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker, Beneath the Stolen Lands, where we're on our second episode here, this time with the audio intact. Now, we're just going to go ahead and hop right into the dungeon. I don't really see any reason to delay. I did look over these characters once again because I have done a run in between the last episode and this one. Quite addicted to this game, actually, if I'm being completely honest. First thing I'm noticing now that I'm playing again, I actually really like to change our party formation. Get those animal companions out in front, keep our ranged characters kind of in the back, and the actual ranger maybe keeping kind of the back middle there. Okay, there we go. Reason being, of course, we don't want them to get turned into pizza, so we'll kind of want the animal companions to take the damage. And we're going to kind of cruise through some of these lower floors, I think. These areas aren't particularly difficult, and as a matter of fact, there's something I'd like to do real quick that I just remembered that I wanted to do. Hold on, I got some loot here. Chainmail's pretty good. Braces of armor +1. They're alright. For one particular reason, Braces of armor are only okay, and that's the existence of the mage armor spell. Kind of makes it irrelevant, but we'll keep it on our sorceress anyway. And anyway, let's see. Can anyone wear this chainmail? Our ranger could, but we're going to put it on our barbarian instead, because he needs the armor a little bit more. The scale mail, though, is a little bit too heavy for him. Although I think it might be... That's 3 plus... That's 7. That's 5 plus 3. This would be 1 more point of armor. We're not getting our full max dex bonus out of it, but that's alright. It's still 1 point of armor more, so I like that a lot. Now, I think... I can't remember if druids in this game have a restriction. Okay, yeah, they can only wear padded leather or hide armor. Okay, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Alright, now that being said, what I wanted to do is actually just go ahead and cast the mage armor spell on our animal companions here. So this will basically give them +4 AC with no penalty, which is pretty nice. We look at, yep. If we look here in the bonuses tab, we've got a +4 mage armor, and now in between yesterday and today, a very nice thing happened. They fixed the bug where natural armor bonuses, and other armor bonuses as well, were applying twice. Obviously, that was terrible, and I'm really glad that they fixed it, because now we can have a more balanced experience, as it were. It would have been kind of hilarious to have like a 41 AC boar running around, but... Thankfully, they've fixed it, so we don't really have an issue. Let's see. I'm thinking I gotta get our druid like a ranged weapon, because after this floor, I think she's gonna start getting like cooked every time we get into a combat. Alright. Not too bad at all. We have a resting fire, but I don't even know that I want to use it yet. I don't really see a point, just because we haven't really expended any resources. And we have some loot on the ground, but nothing of note, so we'll just go ahead and keep it on. Now it seems as though a run of this mode can take anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. So in episode terms, that's like, I don't know, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15, 16 episodes campaign. Wow, another rest fire. The early, and this isn't really Owlcat's fault, the early parts of these dungeons are pretty easy. But we found another Masterwork glaive. That's kind of crazy. We did find a Cloak of Resistance +1. I'm going to go ahead and put that on our frontline fighter, just because... You know, they're in the front line more, they're going to get targeted by spells more, it just makes more sense to have them. Also, there's nothing worse than having one of your frontliners be controlled by, like, a mind control spell, for example. So, and I know for a fact there are at least a good number of mind control effects in the game, so obviously we want to avoid that wherever possible. Despite not being a rogue, our ranger is actually doing a pretty good job at actually... taking out these traps, which I'm really appreciative of. Okay, yeah, I had to feeling there'd be enemies in here. Alright, so I have everyone hold position. I have a feeling everyone's gonna freak out after we start getting attacked here. Alright, well, that was bound to happen, but that's okay. Now, I must admit, this is my first run that I've done of this mode so far. So, like, of the 4 runs that I've started and completed at this point, I think this is the only one where I haven't had a, like, cleric. So that's going to be interesting because some of the later areas get pretty crazy. It is a roguelike game, so, or mode, so I mean, it makes sense that there are areas that are supposed to eventually kill you. And more or less how it works is, eventually I think it does start getting into places where, like, you get to level 20, and then either A, you see how far you can go, or B, you go until you until you see a boss, basically. And then when you fight the boss, you're done, and you retire that party, and you move on. Because you can only get one named boss per dungeon, is my understanding. Oh. Locked chests. Not expecting too much out of the goodies at this stage in the game. Just because, you know, we're still low level. We could go back and search for a secret room. It does appear that every floor has a secret room somewhere. It's usually up against a flat wall somewhere. Like, it could be in this room. There are a number of different places it could be. And since we're not really worried about any ongoing buffs at the moment, I'm just going to go ahead and take a second to kind of get that rolling here. We're looking for plain walls. Like, this wall would be an example of where a secret room could be. The problem, of course, is that you also have to make the perception check. And that in itself can be kind of difficult. Oh, there's another room back there. It might be in there. I'm going to go ahead and take our rest, I think. After I cast Cure Light Wounds on myself, of course. Then we'll go ahead and take a nap. Alright. Good, good, good. And then... yeah, let's get Magic Fang to the board. Don't cast it on the orc. I just imagine she's like... she cast a spell on him. He's like, hey, my teeth just got really big. What do I do? She's like, I don't know. It's an accident. I'm sorry. He's like, my teeth just keep getting bigger. Why is this happening? What did you cast on me? It's called Magic Fang. I don't even have a natural attack. Anyway, let's see. Do we have a... our Druid knows something about religion. But not enough. She rolled a 7. Okay. Well, that's alright. I'm pretty sure there's still a secret room in here somewhere. And, anyway, I think I said this in the last episode. Those shrines, it can be worth it to skill focus into the, like, respective knowledge skills. Because those shrines give pretty massive bonuses. Things like regeneration, like elemental resistance, bonus armor class, bonus health, attack, damage. Pretty much anything you can think of. Okay, there we are. Okay, so every floor that you're on, if you're playing this, there should be like a blank wall somewhere on every floor of the dungeon where there's a secret room, like a secret wall, basically. I of course am using the secret room term from other roguelike games, such as The Binding of Isaac. It is interesting that I get to talk about this game that way, though. I really like that we have that option. Let's see, +1 Earthbreaker. So the thing is, I like our Masterwork Glaive, but the Earthbreaker would do a lot more damage. Let's give it a shot, and we'll see what happens to our Barbarian here, because, like I said, Barbarians are really squishy, and that's kind of the idea behind this party, is just, you know, making sure that the Barbarian actually has a front line. Kind of ironic for the character with the most hit points in the game, but, you know, it is what it is. It's not the tabletop game, and if this mode has done anything for me, it's just revealed, you know, how much each class is, like, what each class is actually worth and what they can actually do. So far, my biggest revelation has been that the Pathfinder Paladin is pretty epic, and so is the Magus class, pretty much regardless of how you build him. The Magus is just really good. Basically everything you'd want out of a spell sword and more. Alright, now we did go ahead and level up. Now you can let me know in the comments. I know some people care about things like character building and stuff like that. Other people just want to see the action. So if you have a preference on that, let me know in the comment section. And just tell me what you think. Like if I should just skip over and then glance over what I do in the level up screen, or if you want to see it all. So let's see. And we're trying to qualify for Dragon Disciple. So let's see. We actually need 5 points of Knowledge Arcana. And that's not something I considered, so I think what we're going to do is just go ahead and put in 3 points now. And then let's see. I'm fairly certain our Druid has Lore Nature, yeah, and is going to be much better at it than the Barbarian. So that may actually be a redundant skill for us here. So we'll go ahead and take a level on Barbarian. And we'll level up our Knowledge Arcana by 3. And let's grab another rank in Perception just to help see hidden doors, chests, etc. Because there are actually hidden chests on every floor that you can only see if you make a high enough Perception check. So having that bonus is always nice. Having multiple characters to be able to make that attempt is always nice. Now what I'm doing with our Barbarian here may actually be a mistake as far as build goes. I am used to the Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Dragon Disciple, which was definitely more of like a melee class. So obviously, that would it would be quite a change if they made it more magic oriented than what it is now. And I may look at that in between episodes, because the thing is, if I figure that out before we get too far into this run here, then what that means is that I'm not stuck with it before, when we actually get into that situation. So that would be really nice, I think. Let's see. We could get extra rage would be nice, although I'm kind of on the fence about this because we have a lot of different options. The thing about cleave is once you get to a certain level, it's kind of pointless because you get multiple attacks per round anyway. So I'm really on the fence about that. Toughness would be nice just for bonus to HP. It's always a good thing. Heavy armor proficiency would also be nice. I don't think there's anything stopping us from raging inside heavy armor. We could just go ahead and take that, honestly. That would give our Barbarian a pretty huge defensive boost, especially considering he has no dexterity bonus. So, yeah, let's go with heavy armor proficiency. Okay, and then we'll level up the Druid real quick. Let's see, you get a feat this level. I mean, everybody gets a feat this level, but I'm not 100% certain which feat I want to give you, because I don't think we qualify for superior summoning yet. Oh, no, we do. We'll just go ahead and take that then. Okay, Ranger, go ahead and level up. We get favored terrain this level, which is interesting. I don't think it actually does that much, though, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Oh, first we have a feat. So, we got our precise shot, which is good. We could go for rapid shot. Gives us an additional attack every round, which is always nice. And then we can combo that with deadly aim later on. The only thing right now is our attack bonus is not going to be that high. We could grab weapon focus longbow. We definitely have like the feat space for it, just because we're going to get a bunch of style feats later down the line. So I mean, I guess the real question though is, what do we want to do in the meantime? I think we're going to go with rapid shot for now, because this gives us a new form of attacking. It gives us because if you think about it, rapid shotting gives you a higher chance to crit because you're shooting 2 arrows every round instead of 1. So on low AC enemies especially, rapid shot just like tears them to shreds. And at the lower levels too, so much of the combat is based on dice rolls that this gives you it gives you an extra dice roll every round basically. So I like to think of it less as like having the ability to hit twice in a round, although it is nice when it does happen, and more of a guaranteed hit every round. So something to think about for early levels. I think we obviously go with favored terrain underground here, since it's the only place we're going to be in for the most part. I don't even think any of these other places pop up in this mode. So But in the event that they do, I mean, we can always pick ones that are more appropriate. Have a level up our sorceress real quick. And let's see, how was I building her again? Let's see, spell focus transmutation. So we're going to be transmuting things. Why did I take spell focus transmutation? Am I just trying to polymorph things? I might be trying to polymorph things, guys. That may be what I'm trying to do here. Wait. She has elemental focus fire, but from what? Oh, there we go. Huh, that seems like kind of a... Why would I take elemental focus if I'm going to be doing transmutation? That's kind of a weird build decision by me. Oh well. One point of elemental focus is fine. As a matter of fact, why don't we just go ahead and do, like, spell focus evocation as well? Give ourselves a little flexibility in that regard. And first level spell. We want something that's going to last us a while. I really like Ray of Enfeeblement, but the problem is it's a ray, and that can miss. It often does miss when you need it the most, which is less than ideal. Shield is something that's going to last us. That's going to be more of a long-term pick. So I think we're going to, well, we're going to go with Magic Missile. It's a staple. We gotta. That way she can actually do something in combat for the time being. Having the ability to entangle is pretty nice, though. No lie. Going through these offensive spells up here in my quick bar. Okay, and then we need to pick some new spells for our Druid here. Bowl Strength, obviously, we're going to use. And then... let's see. Aspect of the Bear is, like, okay. I'm not particularly impressed by it. All these spells are kind of new to me, so this is very exciting. Oh, Will of Barkskin, obviously. Two kind of staple spells that we're probably going to be using for the rest of the run, to be honest. Now, normally I would go back and rest, but these early floors are so easy that we don't really need to go back. Like, just to grab items or something. Alright. Like, we can just run into the room with kind of reckless abandon here. So you can see that rapid shot immediately coming in handy. Do we have gold at all? We have like 2,000 gold. Actually, there is something I'd like to go back for. Because I don't think we have one yet. Yeah, I would really like to get a composite longbow for our ranger. Because then he can add a strength bonus to damage, which would be very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. I mean, we'll rest while we're up here just because we have a free one, but we don't really need it. This is just to set us up for like a couple floors from now, and just in case the loot drops aren't very good. Okay, so first things first, gotta find... here we go, Masterwork Composite Longbow. Perfect. And then, I think, if we sell this Tongi, and all these Masterwork weapons... That's a Masterwork Goblin Club, that's great. Okay, any kind of useless stuff in here? Wand of Aid is really good. Sense Vitals, not so much. I'm going to go ahead and sell that. What is this? You released a burst of barbed acid-filled nettles. Creatures caught in the burst take 3d6 plus 1d6 acid the next round. Oh, cool. That's nice. Keep the Fairy Fire. Remove Sickness is really good, actually. There's a lot of nausea later in the game, and Remove Sickness, which is a first level cleric spell, and I think Druids as well, kind of eliminates the nausea issue, so good stuff right there. I think we're gonna grab a full plate. Although, actually, yeah, let's not cheap out. Let's get a full plate for our barbarian. So we're at 200 gold, but now we've got a good weapon and a good set of armor for our barbarian. There we go. 19 AC. That's what I'm talking about. Liking that Earthbreaker damage. His offense, his attack stat isn't as high as I would like it to be, but it'll get there once we start taking like Dragon Disciple and stuff like that. And then he'll do like crazy amounts of damage. Okay. Oh, I wanted to get a Javelin for our Druid. Because then she's not running headfirst into danger every 2 seconds, so that'll work. Now, of course, the thing is, she can't use a Javelin. Oh, but it's a simple weapon. What can she use? What can she use? Hold on. It says sling, but there's like no slings. So she could use a dart for a ranged weapon. Alright, fine game. I mean, the sling and the dart do the same amount of damage, so like it doesn't really matter, I guess, but dang it. Really like to just have a regular old sling. There's the sling staff, but that's not really the same thing. That's like a halfling martial weapon. And a halfling, our druid, is not. Alright, I guess we're dropping 400 on on this weapon. On like, I should mention they're like the most finely crafted darts you've ever seen. At least we can use them with a shield. Oh, that just looks funny. What am I hiding behind the shield? You'll never know. You'll never know. It's hidden. Alright, then we get our composite longbow. Perfect. Okay. Alright, normally I don't like to take stops for this, but in the early levels it can help to just get like the right weapon that's pretty cheap. There are a couple of other items that are useful to buy as well. Things like scrolls and potions and etc. that you can get from the dragon. But for now, we're going to go back to clearing. Because it's fun. This is the fun part of the game. I promise, even though I spend like half the time just sitting there in menus. This is fun, TM. Oh, that could be a secret room right there. Oh, hey, look at that! There was like a little carpet that led right up to it. That's pretty cool. Alright, come on there, in. Counting on you. You know, I specifically forgot to rest. Oh wow, that's a masterwork large bastard sword. It's a little intense. Oh wow, right after we buy the full plate, we find a +1 full plate in a chest. I mean, I'm not gonna complain, but I guess that's what I get for going back and wasting so much time. I guess we don't really need to rest. We'll just have her heal herself real quick. And then, where was the... There we go. It's this door over here. Sometimes I lose track of the doors. I kind of wish they were marked on the map by default. Sometimes you get sidetracked down a random passage and lose track of where you were. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and hit up all of our animal companions with some armor. Now this works because animal companions have no actual armor bonus, because it's just their natural armor. Let's see. Look at that, just a 10 off the bat. That dog just hit for 13. He did. 1d6 plus 7. Well, that's max damage for him, but still. And that's why I didn't bother going back to rest. They drop these fires like crazy sometimes. There's usually at least 2 per floor, if not more. It just depends how many boss enemies there are. And there's a wand of Call Lightning already. I think we're going to go ahead and use that. That's pretty cool for this level. 18 charges as well. Holy moly. That's pretty good. And she's got 2 potions, or 2 scrolls of Cure Light, rather. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and rest. And then very quickly recast all of our party buffs, which aren't very much at this stage in the game, but If you're going to play this mode, I do highly recommend that you find a good hotkey setup for whatever party that you set up. And to be honest, I've kind of thought about trying to normalize some of my runs, because it can be fun to try out new characters. It can also be a pain to have to learn 4 new characters at the same time when there's so much on the line. I mean, it is a video game, so I mean, it's not like there's that much on the line, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, well, our sorceress has the best knowledge arcana check, so she's going to be the one doing this thing right here. We're going to give her some guidance. It's a 0 level spell, folks. Gives you a +1 on skill checks. And we passed it. And we rolled a 16, so we didn't need guidance, but you never know. Sometimes it can make the difference. So now our whole party has a +8 resistance on saving throws against spells and spell-like abilities. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. I don't know if we're going to run into any spells on this floor, but knowing that that exists is pretty nice. Hold on, we gotta bind this spell here. When you don't have a dedicated rogue, taking out traps can be kind of difficult. Like so. Apologize for the Steam notification there. And just more goblins. No big deal. That Earthbreaker is working out pretty well for our Barbarian, but again, the thing is in these early floors, they're pretty easy to clear. There's no real threat, especially if you're not playing on like the hardest difficulty, but which we're not. I'm mostly playing on normal because I want to get through just to see like what happens when you get to a certain point. Normally I would prefer to play on challenging just because it's the mode that's most like actual like tabletop Pathfinder. Wow. What is that goblin's AC? 14? Wow. Yeah, our ranger's got a +6 to hit? Yes, he does. That's good stuff right there. I'll have to grab weapon focus for him sooner rather than later, I think. Although I would also like to get him deadly aim, so it's gonna be tricky because many shots coming up around the same level. So okay, someone's probably gonna run over this trap, but we're gonna try not to do that. Yep, I kind of figured that was gonna happen. See, so there's a +1 longbow, but the thing is, our composite longbow actually does more. Oh, there's a goblin back there. The composite longbow actually does more just because it has more strength damage to it, and it's masterwork, so it still has a +1 chance to hit. See, we're not going to level up from this, so that's fine. These floors always scare me, and you should be scared of these floors too when you get to them, because they have madness-inflicting enemies, which are about as fun as they sound. I believe they confuse your characters on hits, so... Oh, whoops. There's a kobold back here. Just give him a good charge. Yeah, there he goes. Nothing too serious, thankfully. This party's pretty solid. At least in the offensive department. Plus we've got these animal companions to kind of take damage for us. So it works out pretty well. Helps that we've still got that +8 bonus for the next 2 minutes. You know, we got those second level spells and I haven't even really used them yet. I guess it's just because we haven't needed them. Thankfully these first couple of floors only take like a couple minutes, so... Yeah, pretty easy stuff. I will go ahead and give our Barbarian a strength bonus, though. And let's see. We'll give the boar more AC. he needs it. Now, I'm not religiously looking for the secret room on every floor. This is just because, like, sometimes the treasure just isn't worth it. And so if you spend, like, you know, 10, 15 minutes each floor looking for it, you know, the length of your run increases drastically, and the chances of actually winning it don't necessarily go up that much. Occasionally you'll find pretty crazy good items, but usually it's nothing to write home about. Okay, let's see. She can attempt to unlock this. Okay, yeah, it's about what I thought would happen. See, what was the check? It was a 22 to get it unlocked, so yeah, I didn't think she would get it. It's alright, though. Let's see. Go ahead. Fight these sentinels. Oh, this one's got an aura. That's nasty. That would kill him pretty quickly there. And we have a rest, and we have a bonfire, as it were. We'll probably use that just so we can loot the special kobold there. Alright, Ring of Protection +1. Very useful because we don't have a cleric to cast Shield of Faith on everyone. That's very good. Boots of the Light Step. Grants the wearer a constant feather step effect. What does that even do? I think it just gives you a bonus to sneaking, doesn't it? Nope, ignores the adverse move effects of difficult terrain. Oh, that would actually be very useful on our barbarian, who I'm also going to give this Ring of Protection, just to keep him safe. Alright, let's go ahead and heal up. Then we'll go ahead and head down to the next floor, I think. Although I think there was another door back here. Oh, there was another door back here. Never mind. Let's go clear that. Recast our buffs real quick. Try to take out this trap. And it's actually kind of dark in here. Go ahead and get a light spell going. Helps out a little bit. Man, the lighting effects in this are actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, granted, you know, modern games. Not that this game isn't modern, of course, but newer games are going to have better ones. Doesn't necessarily take away from this game's kind of visual appeal. I mean, look at that effect right there. There's a lot of heart and soul that went into this game, and I hope it did well enough that the studio is like, let's make another one, or make more games that we're gonna put the same amount of effort into, that are gonna be good, like regardless of genre. Even though this one did have a lot of hiccups at launch for sure. Alright. You know, I'd probably save a lot of time if I didn't have it auto-pause every time that it found a chest. I think I'm actually going to turn that off. Just because it happens so often. Okay, we'll wait for our characters to kind of get back here. And it just gets really irritating to have to press spacebar so many times. But I mean, yeah, I did it to myself. I'm my own worst enemy here. Is 30 gold gonna make a difference in the long run? Probably not. But I feel this compulsion when I play role-playing games that I have to pick up like anything that's valuable and worth carrying, because otherwise I'm just leaving something behind, you know? Alright. Let's go ahead and level up our characters again. And in between this episode and the next episode, I am going to look up the Dragon Disciple and see if that's something that we actually want to do with this character. Because otherwise, I don't know if it's really worth building towards. We'll just keep a pure barbarian would still be A-okay by me. I mean, the only thing we'd really be missing out on is just a couple ranks and some of his skill checks, so I'm not really too concerned. Let's see. I think we'll go ahead and roll with lethal stance, just because it's a competence bonus, and we don't have a bard. Normally in the main campaign you have Lindsay as a bard at all times, and that competence bonus competes with other things. So let's see, go ahead and get another Druid level on our Druid. She can start wild shaping this level, which is good. I'm actually going to boost her strength by 1 point, just because it makes a little bit of a difference. Because of the way the polymorphing works in this game, her stats are actually going to help when it comes to doing that sort of thing. So, alright, so we could get a third animal companion here, or add his our ranger's favorite enemy bonus to our allies. I think you go animal companion here, just because it's gonna be a little bit more consistent. Let's see, anything that's like pretty bulky. Let's see. Okay. This elk looks kind of cool, and then you look at his stats, and it's like, oh, he's only got like 12 strength. So even though his gore does a lot of damage, although the elk does get a lot better at 7th level, so that would be like 11th level for this character. Maybe we go with the bear then. I think we go with the bear. The bear's got enough on his own that he can kind of work it out. So we'll go with the bear. Go ahead and raise that dexterity another point. Get his skills in. And he also gets a spell this level as well. And we're going to go with the Almighty Hurricane Bow, which is going to give him 2d6 damage. Which is basically means he's going to be shooting his bow as if it were a greatsword for the rest of the run, which is pretty epic. Now, I know we went with Transmutation Focus because we wanted this character to do a lot of polymorphing. The only thing about that's difficult is I don't remember how many polymorphing spells arcane casters actually get, so we're going to find out together. Let's see. We're going to go with Burning Arc because it's a damage spell, and then when she learns another spell, we're going to go with, I think, Cat's Grace, just to have that dexterity bonus on standby. Although, realistically, we could just use it on our Druid and give our... Yeah, I think we should give our Sorceress something a bit more useful than just a buffing spell like that. One of the downsides of the class, for sure, is that limited spell pool. Alright, let's go ahead and get another spell in here. We could memorize... We could memorize more bark skin, for example. Although I don't know if I necessarily want to do that, so... What we could do is memorize a second bull strength, give that to our ranger, and then he's doing more damage with his bow, just because of the way that mechanic works, so... Anyway, though, I think this is where I'm going to end the episode for now. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope you'll continue to watch it. I've got links in the description in case you want to contact me, support me, anything like that. In the meantime, though, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.